What's up, everybody? This is Brian here to tell you about our podcast, Bingetown TV. Our hosts include 7 best friends with a love for all things television. We cover a range of genres with a focus on fantasy and sci-fi, but also dip our feet into drama, horror, comedy, and pretty much anything we think is good television. We use the traditional deep dive formula for new live shows that are released week to week, but our calling card is our Rooks and Vets and Pitchtown TV series. Rooks and Vets pairs 2 of our hosts that have seen a show with 2 of our hosts that have not seen a show. Pitchtown TV is when we have a special guest pitch us a show by having us watch the pilot and trying to convince us to watch the rest. If you're craving more content on some of your favorite TV shows, then you should listen to Bingetown TV. Find us on our website at bingetowntv.com, the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, or wherever else you may find your podcast.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see 2 people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
At Maximum Mediocrity, people say things like,
I don't dress like this on the regular basis. This isn't my, pooping uniform. This is not fair.
And they also say things like,
The nurses are usually either angels of mercy or whores.
Every episode is a new experience where you get to know people that aren't famous but should be.
Why did my facing Floyd Mayweather in the woods?
My co-host Morgan and I track down the people you didn't know you needed to hear from.
It's like hot sex in a mug.
We are the Maximum Mediocrity Podcast, and we are on all major podcasting platforms. We'll be waiting for you.
Everybody back for another episode of Horror Movie Night, and this week it is my pick, and I made my friends watch the Funhouse Massacre from 10 years ago, 2015. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that this is a first watch for most of you.
Yep.
Yes, Matthew.
That's not a far limb.
Yeah,
but it's a correct limb.
So let me give a little bit of an explanation of my thesis statement before I do this.
I would like that.
Yeah, so for starters, this had been on my long list for a really long time, and I didn't pick it because it hadn't reached the 10-year anniversary, and I wasn't sure if I was ever going to pick it, but then here we were. We're doing a whole year of only anniversaries. It is a film that takes place on Halloween. It's October. Mm-hmm. I figured, why not? This was one of those super random blind purchases back in 2015, and I'm not going to sit here and try to argue that this is one of the best films ever made, but in 2015 I was grabbing a lot of straight to video crap from the $10 bin at Best Buy, and I felt like this movie had a lot more charm than a lot of the other ones that I grabbed. I remember grabbing one called WrestleManiac. That was.
Oh, I remember WrestleManiac.
Yeah,
that was a bummer.
Yeah,
that one was a bummer.
And this movie is fine, but I think it's kind of a hidden gem level of fine. It's not a masterpiece, but I think it deserves a little bit more credit than it gets. We can talk as openly about this movie as we want, but I did also end up finding out that Jonathan from Geekscape is good friends with the writer of the movie, Ben Begley, who also plays the deputy. So he did a signing to sell some posters and copies of the DVD at our Comic-Con booth, and him and I talked about the making of this movie and kind of the we had to be scrappy. But he's like, I'm kind of proud of it. Like, that was kind of his, he wasn't like, I made a masterpiece, but he's like, I'm proud of what we did with what we had.
I mean, it seems like, listen, it's in Ohio.
Yeah.
It's shot in Ohio.
Oh yeah, I clocked those Ohio plates real fast,
real quick. Yeah, and I mean, I feel like they had quite a bit there was a lot of production design and a lot of what's the phrase I'm looking for? High quality production stuff. Like, that's not easy to just like make a fun house that you base most of your thing in.
And I think it just looks good. Like, we've seen
good.
Again, going back to what I was saying earlier, there were plenty of these movies getting released in the early 2010 that looked like dog shit.
This one was actually well lit. It wasn't like all of the 8 Movies to Die For or whatever, those things were very poorly lit, and they had the color grading to make them all look like super stupid and cheap. I mean, or to hide that, make them look slick so that they don't look so cheap. But I just want to circle back real quick, Matthew. I like how you're like, it was a super random pick. In 2015, I saw it in the bargain bin, and I just figured, why not? Matt, it's called the Funhouse Massacre.
I mean,
there's no one that is more demographically
this is your pick, man.
desirous of this than you.
Who would have guessed? I mean, that is also factual. Of course, I was going to grab a movie called The Funhouse Massacre. But yeah, I mean, I just wanted to. I think I pick deep cuts occasionally, but this is potentially one of the deepest cuts I've ever pulled from.
It's no Sick, all right, man.
That is true. This looks better than Sick, I will also say. But anyway, here we go. Oh, Scott, what was that sound?
What you got going over there, Scott?
Kyle might be sick today, but I
am
Filthy McNasty today, because I feel like that's the name of a character in this. I picked this before I even watched the movie, and I was like, if there's a character that's named something like Filthy McNasty, it would feel very 2015 for this movie. But it turned out no one was named Filthy McNasty except for this beer.
Yeah.
But
the gore was kind of Filthy McNasty.
Yeah,
the gore
I didn't hate anything about this movie. Like, it was really a solid watch. I won't watch it again, and I'm glad that it was on Tubi, but like, it was really a fun. I know that you were like, we can speak freely about it, but like, I don't have anything negative to say about it, because it's a lot cheekier than I was expecting it. I was expecting it to be very like grim, dark, taking itself very seriously, and it doesn't. And I really thought that was its saving grace.
No, for sure. I think that it helps that Ben sees himself as a comedic writer who just loves horror movies, and I think it makes this really work. So I'm going to go through the plot summary now. Again, there's a good chance you haven't seen this. I think all three of us can at least say, hey, it's worth a watch if you have Tubi. So if you don't want this spoiled, take a pause, watch for 90 minutes and come back. So, on Halloween night, a journalist named Miss Quinn comes to a mental hospital to interview Kane, the warden at the institute, who just happens to be played by a little-known actor named Robert Englund.
Was she 8 hours late for this interview? Is that what she said, too?
He shows her the 5 most notorious inmates, all who happen to be serial killers with different specialties. And we get Animal the Cannibal, who's a chef who started feeding people to his customers, Dr. Suave, a murderous dentist, Rocco the Clown, a wrestler who killed his opponents in the ring, Mental Manny, a cult leader who saw himself as a prophet, and the taxidermist, who is Clint Howard.
Did you mention that? Oh yeah. Kyle mentioned it's Robert Englund. I mean, like, it's a pretty big get for both of those people to be in this film, in my opinion.
Yeah, there are some names that are sprinkled throughout, those being I think the two biggest.
Robert Englund and Clint Howard.
Yeah, it started to feel. There was like one moment where I was just starting to feel like, how do I say this without sounding awful, particularly even about myself? But it felt like one of those horror convention movies where it's like specifically people who like are on that circuit and who have made friends with the people from that circuit somehow have the ability to make a high octane movie or have the money to like get Robert Englund for a day or something of the sort, which like a lot of great movies have come through that that workflow. But a lot of bad ones have too. And I was getting really nervous at the beginning. I was like, oh man, we're just introducing all these characters with Robert Englund. Robert Englund's going to be gone, and now we're going to be stuck with these bozos the whole damn time. That's not the case.
So as we're meeting these different killers, we do get these cool little like micro flashbacks to their crimes. My personal favorite being the dentist. Him like just drilling straight through someone's mouth out the back of their skull and then like shining the light through the hole to examine their mouth.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. I loved it.
I'm like, this is some good shit here. In one of the least shocking reveals in film history, it turns out that Miss Quinn is actually evil.
Also, her name being Miss Quinn is quite funny for the time, because Harley Quinn was not really like in the zeitgeist as much in 2015.
Yeah. I think Suicide it's definitely a reference before, like. They're definitely going for a Harley Quinn reference, but yes, this is definitely before Suicide Squad.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a if you know kind of thing. It's not like if this movie had been made 5 years later, I would have been like, oh my God, like
how
a Harley Quinn reference, lame,
So turns out that Miss Quinn is actually the Stitch Face killer, and she murders Robert Englund and a bunch of the guards before she frees the inmates to the soundtrack of a Temu Nick Cave song.
Yeah, big time.
All of the music in this is hilarious. I think that so much of it is very like. So much of this music sounds 15 years old. You know, like everything feels new metal, or maybe 2003. You know, like it's just
Listen,
I don't know, man.
You can either get Robert Englund and Clint Howard in your movie, or you can get a soundtrack of known bands. And I think they allocated
Robert
correctly.
Englund any day. Yes,
like
absolutely.
They did the
Jingle Punks does the job that they need to do, and then that's it.
We do get the reveal also that the Stitch Face killer is also Manny's daughter. Then we cut to a motel where Sheriff Kate Dyer and the bumbling Deputy Doyle, played by the writer Ben Begley, are trying to determine what happened to a Jane Doe that they found dead in bed. I'll just jump ahead here. It's Stitch Face. We later find out that Stitch Face did this. Then we go to the small diner where we meet our main cast of characters. It's a bunch of people who work at the diner. We get this who's on first Doctor Who bit between one of the employees and an old man. We also get one of my least favorite bits in anything, which is the spit in the food of the complaining customer thing. Could have done without most of the scene with that old man, especially since it pays off in no way, really.
No, they leave him in the diner, and that's the joke.
That's basically the
joke. They just leave him to go to this haunted house.
But they build up that we get a little bit of exposition, and we find out that in this town there is a haunted attraction, and there's a lot of controversy about it because it's actually all based around actual local serial killers. All of the characters that we just learned about. And
all come from the same town.
All from the same town. This town in Ohio is nuts.
You guys have obviously not spent enough time in Ohio because we're all serial killers here.
I mean, listen, I've seen whose house is it? Dahmer's house. I've seen Dahmer's house when I came to visit
Dr.
you.
Bob, the guy from AA, serial killer. He's Akron. Yeah.
So, unbeknownst to literally everybody, including the man who organized the local haunt, the inmates have killed the actors hired to play them and have taken their places. I did write down here. There's a very unimportant detail that Stitch Face was also dating the organizer and helped convince this to happen.
Yeah.
Super unnecessary extra detail.
Unnecessary. I mean, I know this is a big undertaking, but it also seems like it wasn't that big of an undertaking. Like, if we just jumped ahead to them taking this over, I would not have questioned that at all.
Not even a little bit. There's always going to be someone who's trying to cash in on local tragedy. Like, that's totally normal to me.
Oh, but that's not Courtney Gaines from Children of the Corn. Is it Children of the Corn, or is he from? I can't remember. Oh yeah, he's from Children of the Corn. Then there's the redhead from Christmas Story, who is not him. They're two different people. We're talking about the one from Children of the Corn. That's the other sort of like horror convention get.
I really
plus the cop from Reno 911.
What you're saying.
I was just like,
thank you.
Yeah. Which I like, honestly, I get it. There's a world in which like that's not far off for me to hopefully do at some point in my life. So I'm not like knocking it. It was just so glossy, and I had this idea in my head. But the good thing the movie was fun, because otherwise I'd be hating every second of it. But, it's quite a joy.
So I do want to call out a part that I particularly like. Where they are, all of the killers are going into these different rooms that are designed after their crimes. And I got
ironically,
I got a pretty big laugh out of Animal the Cannibal being offended by the portions in his segment. And he's like, what do they think I did? Run a cheesecake factory? Like, he's like, it's just a fun little like, he's still an artiste as far as his cooking goes. Like, he takes the shit seriously.
Let's be realistic though about that character design. Very fucking annoying that like he's supposed to only have one eye. Like his left eye is supposed to have been like forked out. But he uses that eye a bunch.
He does. He does.
He uses it plenty. He sees all.
It can't be a perfect film. So we also get this interesting detail that I do love, that it became the cover of the film. Rocco the Clown, for the first couple minutes of this movie, we just see the wrestling character. He rips the face off of the actor hired to play him already in the clown makeup, and then just wears that dude's face for the rest of the movie. Love it.
Ill-fitted too. Yeah, it's just kind of like hanging over. It's just flopped over the top of his head.
It's really good. Back at the police station, Deputy Doyle starts to receive a prank call about people being murdered in the funhouse, which leads to him no longer trusting any calls that report the same thing. It's a nice little, hey, how do we keep the cops out of getting involved for a little bit? I like that little detail.
Yeah.
My favorite character in the whole movie is the dishwasher Gerardo, who's dressed as Machete.
Oh, you liked him? I actually thought that was the only character in this. Yeah, I felt like all the jokes were fine, except for his jokes. I did not like that character. I did not like the jokes. They felt like they have not aged well.
See, I like the idea that he is basically out of the movie for most of the movie, because, he's like, I don't know, this horror stuff's white people's shit, and then he walks away, and the main character's like, there are a lot of white people here.
One of the laugh out loud moments I had was when he's waiting in the car. It's the one moment that they cut back to him at all. He's waiting in the car, and a victim comes and just like bangs on the window and screams, and the scream that he lets out in return is really
they're just staring at each other while screaming back and forth. Mm-hmm. I think that I like him because he's so underused. Like, when they bring him out, it's always for like a bit that I like. Yeah. Now, at this point in the movie, plot kind of goes in the background, and we just get a collection of gore effects and kill scenes, mixed with some really good comedic moments. I have to give a shout out to I've never heard of this actor, Matt Angel. He plays the main lead, Morgan. He has some top tier like comedic delivery of lines that I think are only funny because of how he says it. Like, they're very, like I already said the aforementioned, like, there are a lot of white people here. Like, he just delivers these lines in a way that really, really works. I also think that Ben Begley, like, admittedly still friends of mine, but I think he kills it as this deputy. Has some really, really great lines. We also get one of the scenes that I think is hilarious is this comedically awkward bathroom sex scene where where the two people are in the bathroom and the guy starts going down on her.
Control. And she's like smacking his head.
She's smacking him and she goes, the delivery of the line is perfect because she starts with, "Oh my God," which you're thinking that she's about to orgasm. She just goes, "You suck at this."
Suck at this. Yeah.
You love at this. So
it's
good.
It's a great bit. Eventually, our main diner employees start to realize that people are being murdered for real, and they try to escape, only to find out that the gates have now been locked shut. We get a solid head smash with a mallet. And then follow that up almost immediately with this wrestler trying to shove a dude's face through a chain link fence.
And kind of succeeds.
Succeeds.
Yeah.
Succeeds. Nice eyeball effect.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. Morgan is able to escape. And then the sheriff and the deputy realize, oh, there might actually be something happening here because they've gone to the mental hospital figuring out that Stitchface might be connected to their Jane Doe, and they see the destruction, and then they also realize, oh, maybe those prank calls weren't prank calls. There's another really great bit in this mental hospital with the deputy who keeps slipping on the blood of all the victims multiple times. And he just eventually just goes, "What shoes are you wearing?" Because the sheriff is not slipping at all and is able to walk through it perfectly fine. Like, it's those little jokes where it's like, okay, we've got this dumb slipping slapstick bit, but like that punchline to it of like, why am I the only one slipping, is like what saves what I think is just like a hacky, cheap joke to be like, all right, that's actually it was a good setup to the punchline.
I didn't feel like there was like a lot of like sort of like record scratches for those deliveries though either.
Yeah.
Like there's a really good balance of sort of like giving comedy and giving funny lines without like really moving it into sort of parody or spoof territory.
For sure.
Like, it doesn't ever really feel like a spoof because it is still these serial killers that are like killing plenty of people.
Yeah.
The only times that I do think it feels like it dances that parody spoof line is like the casualness in which certain moments happen. Like a key moment is about to come up where the sheriff and the deputy show up to the fun house just as Morgan is coming away from the fun house, and the sheriff shoots him in the arm, and like the reaction to that is so tame because they would rather set up a bunch of like jokes. Like that's where it kind of falls into a bit of parody. I did laugh at Morgan saying, he goes, "Why'd you shoot me? I didn't have a weapon. Were you threatened by my awkward running style?" But Morgan, Deputy Doyle, and the sheriff reconnect with Gerardo, and the four of them re-enter the park just as Manny reveals to the park attendees that every murder that they've seen is real, and they're all going to be murdered next, and chaos ensues. I barely talked about her in this movie, but Laurie, who is Morgan's love interest, is the one that kills Dr. Suave. And she saves a man from being tortured only for Morgan to accidentally shoot and kill him as soon as they show up, which I did get a pretty good chuckle out of that. I also got a big laugh as they all kind of split up and they're like, look, we got to take down all these killers separately. The deputy shoots Clint Howard and kills him and then immediately starts vomiting.
Yeah.
And at one point in his vomiting, he says, like, "I never shot someone before. Didn't know there'd be that much blood." Like, like I like that it's like, it does a comedic job of reminding you, like, these police officers are completely out of their depth to be dealing with serial killers on this level. Or so we think, because Kate goes after Manny, who we discover is her father as well, and that she also was part of this cult, but she was an escaped member of it. She's able to shoot and kill Manny in kind of a gnarly, like, straight through the head as his head falls back and the blood just starts pouring out of the back of his skull.
Yeah.
I like that it's like not shying away from the violence there. But Stitchface attacks her. While they're tussling, we go back to Morgan and Gerardo, who managed to kill Annabelle the Cannibal.
Wait, so they're sisters.
Yeah, they're sisters.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. They're
I didn't put that
switchblade
together
sisters,
until
one could
now.
say, as they.
Hey! All right.
They kill Annabelle the Cannibal by shoving his face on a hot dog roller, which is another cool, gooey, gross kill. And then
Really
they are
yucky.
both disgusted by what they see. Going back to the Switchblade sisters, Kate and Stitchface stab each other to death. Dun dun dun. Doyle, Gerardo, and Morgan, as well as Lori, all leave the attraction in the morning and see the place waiting outside for them. In what I think is truly one of the most shocking moments in this movie, Rocco the Clown kills Morgan. Like the character that seems the most set up to be the person
With a
that
serious
lives.
backbreaker, dude.
Yeah.
That was it.
Like I forgot that happened. So even rewatching it this time, that happened and I screamed. I forgot that happened. But then even in that moment where you do get this like, oh, I didn't expect that character to die. We get this hilarious, again, Deputy Doyle is they're all laying on the ground with their hands over their heads, but the police are so stunned and then he just yells, "Shoot them, you fucking idiots!"
Yeah.
And then after they unleash a bunch of bullets into Rocco, Doyle just grabs a shotgun, and I guess his fear of blood from shooting someone is gone because he shoots Rocco in the face point blank, and boy, do we get a huge slow motion blood splatter that flies at him. Gerardo leaves the movie entirely to go meet up with his girlfriend, while Lori sits in the back of an ambulance. They then wheel in Kate, who turns out to be alive. And as they drive off, Lori realizes that it is not Kate in the back with her, but Stitchface wearing Kate's face as a mask. And then I'm not sure if you guys stuck around for the post-credits, but at the very end, a body bag that Rocco the Clown is in rises up and starts to unzip itself.
Didn't go that far. Okay.
Yeah, I missed the second part of the
second.
Listen, I like this movie a lot. This movie doesn't need two post-credit sequences.
Nope, certainly does not. No.
But yeah, that is 2015's Funhouse Massacre. One of the better attempts at like a 90s, 80s slasher film throwback vibe, especially at that time period. I think later on, we get some movies that I don't want to say because they might be double features, but we've definitely celebrated some other like slasher film throwback films that I would definitely put as better than this.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
But again, for a straight to DVD, see it on the shelves at your local Blockbuster in 2015, this was such a welcome surprise to a lot of the like we said, like poorly lit, poorly acted, cringy films that also like I felt like a lot of the movies at that time kind of had dishonest box art. You know what I mean? Like it would have this really cool cover and then like nothing that you were looking for would show up. Like this followed through with some gross moments, some interesting kills, and the humor worked. So I highly recommend. If you guys still haven't seen it and listened all the way to the 27-minute mark, I'm still saying recommend on this. I'm curious about you guys.
Big rec from Matt.
Yeah. I thought it was a lot more fun than I anticipated. And it wasn't even in in a low expectations sort of way. You know how sometimes we're like, oh, that totally, exceeded expectations. I thought it was just like really, it was really fun. It was clever. It was quick.
Yeah.
It
doesn't waste time. I didn't find myself checking my watch too much during it.
A lot of great kills.
Yeah.
A lot of great kills, a lot of good effects.
And not off-camera kills. I think that was the other thing that was
like,
happening a lot. Was it'd be like, oh, it's got this huge body count, but it was like you weren't seeing any of it. This was I think that they really put the money where the money should go if you're making a low-budget horror film. A few bucks to two or three recognizable names, and then the rest to like a solid set and some solid effects. And like that'll go a long way. A horror fan will ignore a lot of plot holes if you can give them visuals that they remember.
Yeah. No, the fun every set in that fun house was excellent.
Yeah.
Everything looked really
Cal
good.
was having fun in the fun house.
Fun in the
I
fun
had
house.
a lot of fun in this fun house, and I survived. You could see me in the third credit sequence, the third post-credit sequence. I come out and say, "This is good.
This is good.
And
I
then
like this."
That's it. I like this.
Hello, Finney. Did you think our story was over?
Just the grammar.
This Friday.
You're dead.
Dead is just a word. Critics are saying Ethan Hawke is pure nightmare fuel. Finney. Discover the secret behind the mask. What do you think happens when you die? It's time to find out. Black Phone 2, only in theaters Friday. Rated R. Under 17, not admitted without parent.
What's up, everybody? This is Brian here to tell you about our podcast, Bingetown TV. Our hosts include 7 best friends with a love for all things television. We cover a range of genres with a focus on fantasy and sci-fi, but also dip our feet into drama, horror, comedy, and pretty much anything we think is good television. We use the traditional deep dive formula for new live shows that are released week to week, but our calling card is our Rooks and Vets and Pitchtown TV series. Rooks and Vets pairs 2 of our hosts that have seen a show with 2 of our hosts that have not seen a show. Pitchtown TV is when we have a special guest pitch us a show by having us watch the pilot and trying to convince us to watch the rest. If you're craving more content on some of your favorite TV shows, then you should listen to Bingetown TV. Find us on our website at bingetowntv.com, the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, or wherever else you may find your podcast.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see 2 people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
At Maximum Mediocrity, people say things like,
I don't dress like this on the regular basis. This isn't my, pooping uniform. This is not
and they also say things like,
The nurses are usually either angels of mercy or whores.
Every episode is a new experience where you get to know people that aren't famous but should be.
Why did my facing Floyd Mayweather in the woods?
My co-host Morgan and I track down the people you didn't know you needed to hear from.
It's like hot sex in a mug.
We are the Maximum Mediocrity Podcast, and we are on all major podcasting platforms. We'll be waiting for you.
Hi, friends. The world got you down. Don't be sad. Listen to $2 Late Fee with Zach and Dustin.
$2 Late Fee is the podcast that celebrates the best decade of entertainment, the 1980s. We pick a movie and soundtrack from our youth that we loved and see if it holds up today. We also interview your favorite celebrities from that era.
All in the spirit of positivity and togetherness. Check us out at $2latefee.com.
If I was having friends coming over to watch the Funhouse, I bounced around through a bunch of different ideas, but I think what I landed on, and I think that the Funhouse Massacre is better than this movie, actually, but I landed on the Knights of Badassdom, which is a similar vein,
Yep.
but I went with this one because the key plot element in both of those is people not being aware that what they're seeing is a real danger to them just yet.
Yeah, yep.
With Knights of Badassdom, it's a LARP gone wrong as opposed to a haunted attraction. And I definitely think that this is a little bit more fun. This leans into the R, where I believe Knights of Badassdom got re-edited to a PG-13.
That's a PG-13. Yeah, I was about to say.
Which hurts it a little bit. But, I love a good, oh no, this is actually really happening type horror movie. We don't get a ton of them, but when we do, I'm always a fan.
Yeah.
I am going to go with a movie that's not great, but But it still takes place in a sort of a funhouse carnival, and that's Fred Olin Ray's Sideshow. I remember having that DVD for a while, and it's just a good B sort of vibe to throw on after this, albeit not really that good.
Not really that good of a vibe. All
Nope.
right. How about you, Scott?
I'm gonna go with a Matt. It's a Matt Kelly night. I'm gonna go with Murder Party.
That's another good one.
Night.
That's another good one.
Nice. That is a good one.
I'm really surprised you didn't pick that one.
Damn, that's a really great pick.
The other one that I was thinking about was You Might Be the Killer, which I think is still to this day the best of these types
movie,
of like throwback feeling movies. And hey, we've talked about a lot of great movies on this podcast, haven't we? And you can check out all of our back catalog at our website, hmnpodcast.com. You can shoot us an email at hmnpodcast@gmail.com to join our newsletter. You can visit our Patreon and get tons of bonus conversations and early access to our episodes at patreon.com/HMN podcast. And you can go to hmnpodcast.dashery.com to get all types of swag. Scott just uploaded a bunch of new designs to our store. What did they say, Scott? It's a continuation of our death metal text.
The death metal logo. So we had Cutie Patootie and we had Silly Goose. Now we have Love Bug and Soy Boy.
Love it. Love it, love it, love it. And if you want to meet at least one of us in person, I will be at the Creature Feature Weekend on November 7th and 8th. I believe the event actually goes until the 9th, but most likely I will not be there on the 9th. But come meet me for those 2 days. And lastly, let's talk about things that we want to recommend. I'm going to throw a book out there that I'm going to say I mostly liked.
Fair.
When I started reading it, I was really invested, and then I kind of started to lose interest, and then it picked up again at the end. And it's not even it's weird for me because it's not a horror book and it's not a YA novel. It's a book called Speech Team by Tim Murphy. And it's about a group of 5 30-year-olds in the year 2010, I want to say is when they're setting the book in, who were all members of the speech team when they were in high school in the late 80s. One of their friends takes his life and on Facebook writes a goodbye message where he calls out their speech team coach by name for being the prick that led to him taking his life 20 years later. And it brings all of these friends together, and they all realize that as much as they loved being part of the speech team, every single one of them has at least one isolated experience where this teacher kind of harassed them about being gay, harassed them about being a minority, harassed them about something, that he had all of this like homophobia and xenophobia. So they all find out where he lives and fly to Florida to confront him all these years later about the things that he said to him. And that's where I'm going to stop. I think that the ending is satisfactory enough, but you know, with that setup, I'm like, are they going to kill him? Like how? Like I had no clue where it was going to go, and it's kind of it becomes a lot more of an interesting character study of growth and just kind of more real than that. So I liked what it was doing, but I think when I was reading the first like 50 pages, I'm like, oh man, this thing could go anywhere. And it went like the one direction I was least excited about. Yeah. But all in all, I still think it's a good read. It's a short read. It's like 260 pages. Very short by novel standards this day and age. So, you know, gentle recommend on that one. But how about you guys?
So I can't remember. I don't think I think I mentioned it on the Patreon. But I'm not sure if I talked about it on here, which was King Kong Escapes. And I think I just mentioned it by name because we had watched The Last Unicorn, which was a Rankin Bass production, as well as the King Kong show, which was Rankin Bass. This was Rankin Bass doing, and again, Rankin Bass like most known for the Christmas claymation TV specials, but plenty of other stuff, including this kaiju movie, which was their first live-action movie, King Kong Escapes. And that is with King Kong, and there's an evil scientist who is making a mechanical King Kong out of the lore of the actual existing King Kong to wreak havoc. It just gets who the fuck actually knows what happens in King Kong Escapes. But just do yourself a favor when you need a little something to feel good. You just watch a kaiju movie. Just watch a 60s kaiju movie. God, it'll warm you like hot cocoa. It is lovely, and there's a plenty of them. So King Kong Escapes is especially great. Just some of the miniature work in some of these is really clunky. Here, I think it's great. Like or I guess I don't know if you still. call it
I guess
miniature,
that makes sense, right? Because they started cutting their teeth doing stop motion, so like miniature work is their biggest skill set.
Exactly, like the detail work when Mech Kong and King Kong start to fight among the military bases and the secret bases of this evil doctor. It just looks so damn good, more than it has any right being. It looks like a ton of fun. I had a blast with it. So that's King Kong Escapes.
Love it. All right, Scott.
And I am currently watching Peacemaker season 2. As right now we're like not finished with the season, but it's fun. I mean, like I enjoy it. It's
do I miss that theme song. I do not like season 2's theme song.
No, I also understand that they can't top last season's intro, so they're just going to have to make do with what they got, So I think that honestly, like, they're doing a good job. I'm just waiting for I feel like this is what happened with the first season, where it's like it just kind of it all seems very normal with humor, and it builds towards something fucking wild later. That's what I think is going to happen.
We haven't hit the holy shit moments just yet in the show, which I think that James Gunn has a very specific thing that he does, and I'm fine with him doing that thing because I always have a good time. But James Gunn's real skill set is building out as normal of a world as humanly possible, and then hitting you with a holy shit moment that flips that world upside down. But waiting 4 episodes for that holy shit moment to flip the world upside down can sometimes be a little tedious.
I can't argue with anything that you just said, my friend.
That's why I like his movies. You know what I mean? Like Slither, we get to the holy shit, flip the script moment 25 minutes in. I'm excited I'm excited to see where Peacemaker goes.
Yeah, me too.
But more exciting is to see what we cover next on Horror Movie Night. And the only way to find that out is you got to subscribe on your podcasting app. So I hope to hear you guys. I hope that you guys hear us this time next week as we talk about another movie, a movie that was changed up on us at the 0 hour for better or for worse.
I think that it's going to work out just fine.
We'll find out. I didn't say who flipped the script. James Gunn.
What's up, everybody? This is Brian here to tell you about our podcast, Bingetown TV. Our hosts include 7 best friends with a love for all things television. We cover a range of genres with a focus on fantasy and sci-fi, but also dip our feet into drama, horror, comedy, and pretty much anything we think is good television. We use the traditional deep dive formula for new live shows that are released week to week, but our calling card is our Rooks and Vets and Pitchtown TV series. Rooks and Vets pairs 2 of our hosts that have seen a show with 2 of our hosts that have not seen a show. Pitchtown TV is when we have a special guest pitch us a show by having us watch the pilot and trying to convince us to watch the rest. If you're craving more content on some of your favorite TV shows, then you should listen to Bingetown TV. Find us on our website at bingetowntv.com, the Apple Podcast app, Spotify, or wherever else you may find your podcast.
You've been lost in the woods for hours now, stumbling around in the dark. You come around the bend and see two people roasting marshmallows over a roaring fire. They see you coming into the clearing and gesture over to pull up a log. Welcome to Campfire Ashes. I'm Paul.
And I'm Jess. Join us as we tell each other our originally written spooky stories around the campfire and then dive into the lore and legends that inspired them. Is it something that goes bump in the night? Is it something menacing lurking past the tree line? Or is it just weird and otherworldly? You'll find it here on Campfire Ashes.
You can find us on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, or right here on the Geekscape Network.
At Maximum Mediocrity, people say things like,
I don't dress like this on the regular basis. This isn't my, pooping uniform. This is not
and they also say things like,
The nurses are usually either angels of mercy or whores.
Every episode is a new experience where you get to know people that aren't famous but should be.
Why did my facing Floyd Mayweather in the woods?
My co-host Morgan and I track down the people you didn't know you needed to hear from.
It's like hot sex in a mug.
We are the Maximum Mediocrity Podcast, and we are on all major podcasting platforms. We'll be waiting for you.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.